you ever revisit your heart rate training zones? That's what we're chatting about.
Whew. I am just back from a 10K Zone 2 run. And not only was it a Zone 2 run, but it's the first time really taking my new Zone 2 training zone or training heart rates for a little spin. I've tried a couple of different runs, but this is the first time I've tried for a full 10K at Zone 2. And so I just had a VO2 max test done a few weeks ago, and it resulted in my heart rate training zones changing. I'm a recreational runner. If you're not familiar with my channel, I'm 58 years old. I've been a recreational runner for about 25 years. Not competitive, have never been competitive. I'm just your run of the mill, everyday runner, trying to optimize my wellness as I age. And you start to pay attention to that after you realize that you are at a stage where you have far more years behind you than you have ahead of you. And so this is the second year I've gone for a VO2 max test, and I don't know why I was surprised. Maybe I'm the only person out there who does heart rate based running that didn't realize you need to check in on those heart rate training zones on a regular basis because they change. I think I would have just kept the same heart rate zones. For instance, I did the online calculator, I have my Garmin, I did the calculations online the first year, so 3 years ago, and figured out my zones for what my heart rate, the range of my heart rate should be for zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. And I used that. I trained for a half marathon with that, and it worked okay. And I think had I not gone for a VO2 max test after that, I would have just stayed with that. I never really thought about reassessing them. So last year I went for a VO2 max test, and that changed all of those heart rate zones because the test was much more accurate than my online calculations. Oh, the wind is picking up. Yes, so the VO2 max test was much more accurate than my online calculations using my own watch. And so that was good. I had adapted to those training zones last year, and I went for another VO2 max test this year, just a few weeks ago. You can see those videos on my channel. And the zones changed again. I did not realize your heart, if you continue to train and you continue to improve your running economy, that your heart rate zones change. It makes perfect sense that they would, but I did not realize that. So today, my new heart rate zone for zone 2 is 148 to 152 beats per minute, I think. But all last year, that range in zone 2 was 142 to 148. And so the top of that range is now the bottom of this year's zone 2 heart rates. I know, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I hope it's making sense. I also have a little bit of runner's brain because I'm just back from that long run on a hot summer day. And so it was harder work. I felt like I was pushing myself a little bit harder to stay comfortable, but I could breathe through my nose the entire time. And that's my big indicator of whether or not I'm in zone 2. If I can keep my lips sealed and breathe in and out through my nose. And yes, I always wear a nose strip just to help with that because I don't have very clear nasal passages. And I was able to breathe through my nose the entire time. I did some recording along the video. So the tractor just left the field spreading manure. Yeah, the scent is even a little stronger when your nasal passages are wide open. I was able to talk comfortably, so definitely was what I would consider a true zone 2 for me, even though I was pushing a little harder than I previously did in a zone 2. And what the interesting thing is I think I'll put the numbers up here, but my pace was, I think, 6 minutes and 50 seconds maybe per kilometer. And previously my zone 2 was around 7 minutes per kilometer. So I think Dr. Jeff is right. I guess that's why he's the exercise physiologist and I'm the recreational middle-aged or older than middle-aged recreational runner, because what he was saying is, yes, your heart rates are going to increase for your zones as you continue to train and continue to improve your performance. Despite my VO2 max going down this year, and you will have to work a little harder, but not with the same energy output.
So to
Okay.
kind of put it in perspective,
Okay.
let's say your zone two used to be 6 minutes, 30 seconds per
Mm-hmm.
kilometer. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just making things up. But now let's say it's like now it's 6 minutes. So to go that much faster, you have to work that much harder. But as a result, it's actually taking you less energy. Because you're working in zone two essentially, like that lactate still is not accumulating, but you actually have to work harder now, which translates to working faster, moving faster to get that same physiological response as it relates back to lactate. Because
Right.
heart rate's just a tool to get you there.
Oh, it gets a little confusing, doesn't it? Anyway, check in with your heart rate training zones. Do you change them? Have you reassessed them and changed them? Or do you just keep the same ones all the time? I would love to know. I feel like a bit of a, I don't know, I feel a bit silly that I didn't know that. And so I love learning new things. So I'm going to keep this summer. I'm going to try out these new training zones and see where that takes me. Let me know. Do you change yours? Do you even pay attention to training zones? Comment below. I'm Angela, and this is Lead Your Living.